Hello and welcome to the ADLR Podcast, episode 66. Joined by Randal in the back.
66.
Say that again?
66.
Now say it again.
66.
Alright, I think you're fine there. I don't know, Brian, you tell me if it sounds too low. Huh?
About what?
Anything, just right into the mic, man. Like, why every time
I am into the mic. I don't know what you want the mic. You want it in my throat?
Yes, Randall, for the 80th time. It's this close. You have to make love to it.
A mic should not have to be this close to somebody. So like that?
No, Randall, that's from the pad. You want it from the mic.
So it's the same distance.
No, Randall, it's even further than what I had. I need you to have like oral with it, Randall. All right. Say again. They can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Who is they? The Dark
Everyone.
Army?
Oh, I know why.
Did you say the Dark Army on the internet live?
Actually, I don't know why. That's weird. Oh, I know why. Yeah, you should be fine. They can hear you now. All right, what was I saying? Randall in the back. He tried introducing himself, but it didn't work.
Boss Logic is taking pictures with everybody. He took a picture with Tom Holland, Brie Larson. I forget the dude's name that played
Jake
Jon
Gyllenhaal.
Snow. Oh yeah, he took one with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he took one with the dude who plays Jon Snow.
He might have been at a convention, and that's where he got the chance to do that.
He was at Aegis Con or something, AES Con, something like that.
What? Your mic sounds like you're far away. Is it me? Hold on. Yours.
What do you mean it sounds like I'm far away?
I don't know, man. It doesn't sound like it did before.
You sound like you're in a vacuum tube or something.
Yeah.
I don't
know how to. I can't explain it. It's something you have to hear it, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, I mean, I can understand what you're saying, so we can move on. That's Bryant, by the way, that you keep hearing after I introduced Randall. Yeah, see, even Cobra in the chat saying the same thing.
It's because my stuff's updating, and it's just make it down once it update. Hold on.
What's updating?
My interface shit.
You can use it while it's updating?
Yeah.
That's weird. Usually when firmware upgrades happen, it goes into like a safe mode. All right. I guess while you're sorting that out, what did I say? Episode 66 of the episode podcast. I'm so done. For the ADLR podcast. Let me see if I can move the camera a bit.
Yeah,
Randall is. Yeah, Randall, can you move to the slide your chair to the right? There you go. So they can get a nice little look at you. You know what I'm saying? All right, if you want to support this nice setup we got going on here, you can go to patreon.com/ADLRplays, or you can go to the extra life to ADLRplays.com to donate for a fantastic cause where we game for charity. My proceeds go to the Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. Speaking of which, November 2nd is game day. So for everyone listening, November 2nd, 2019, I will be streaming for 24 hours. I think we're starting 10 a.m. right now. It's 10 a.m. that Saturday and then ending 10 a.m. Sunday. So, you can write into topics at adlrplays.com if you want and suggest games for us to play on Extra Life. We already got a pretty decent list of games, so we'll see what makes the cut.
Will there be lots of food and festivities?
I mean, we can order some stuff. I mean, you're going to have to, does Ethos have stuff for you to get? Can you order?
I can't. I mean, I would have to go get it. I can't order it. They don't have a service that drives all the way.
They don't have catering?
I'm pretty sure they have catering.
Oh.
But I don't know if they will deliver it all the way over here.
Gotcha. Because if you're gonna be here for the entire 24 hours, and you're gonna have to have something on standby to eat, you know.
I'm probably just go there and get a whole bunch of stuff and bring it back.
Gotcha. Yeah, we gotta sort that out too, eating stuff and a bunch of energy drinks for me, and then we'll see how that goes, I guess. But yeah, it's gonna be a great time. November 2nd, game day for us here. You getting frustrated over there, Brian? What's going on?
As you said, I sound bad? What is?
It sounds like like with your EQ or something. It's I don't know how to say it. Like it sounds like you're this close, but you sound like you're talking from back here, and I hear a lot, and you hear a bit of
All
noise.
right, hold
And
on. Stop talking. I'm going to keep talking to myself right now.
all right, live right here.
Why is this? Why the? I'm already triggered. Why is it when I set things up correctly, go to bed, turn it back on? Nah, fuck you.
Oh, you got hackers.
That's technology, man.
That's Elliot.
Fucking tired of everything, dude.
Did you watch second episode of Robot yet?
No.
Oh my god, dude. I'm worried now. But I guess when you see it, we'll talk about it. I don't know, Javi, if you saw it too, but after that
Dang, I
ending,
was
I'm
hoping
worried.
you saw it.
Yeah, same, because we can start guessing on what the heck's happening. Anyway, we're gonna move on. You don't want to spoil it for him. You still gonna talk to yourself, Brian, or can we move on here?
You just keep going, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we can hear you. It just sounds like you're from far. You're like far away. I don't know why.
Yeah, it didn't sound like this before. That's why it's triggering me. But keep going.
No problem, though. Is that a new mic?
Yeah.
That might be why.
No, I just told you I said it correctly yesterday.
And it didn't sound like this.
No.
All right. Well, I mean, Godspeed. Like, we got to move on here. Oh, if you want to help Brian calm down here, you can donate to his Hitbox donation drive. Brian, you copied the text too. Like, you only need is the link.
So they know what the link's for. It's a bit.
God, it's a bit.ly link. I keep forgetting to make a subdomain for you on my ADLR place thing. I'll see if I remember by next week, or if not, remind me by like Tuesday morning next week.
Alright, that sounded different.
They sound about the same. It's nothing. Doesn't seem like anything's changed.
Oh, Neil Anthony.
Yeah, we gotta move on though, because we have some
Keep going.
pretty good news, Randall, today, especially for me. You know what I'm saying, Randall?
No one cares about that game.
What game? It's not about a game, Randall.
The first one.
I mean, Javi's gonna fight you during Extra Life now.
I just don't like it because I don't like westerns. That's the only reason why. It probably is a really good game, but I wouldn't give it a chance because of the setting.
Okay. We got some crazy news about Stadia as well. We got Doom being delayed. I guess we can go through just the news real quick, and then we'll go into like our reviews and stuff. So Red Dead 2 finally has a freaking release date for PC. November 5th. And it was also announced it's coming out on Stadia. Which confirmed, wow, Brian, whatever you're doing, you're just messing this up. It sounded like you were messing with some like audio wires real life, like doing this. Cobra, like I'll fight you at Extra Life with that statement, you know? He over here saying good news, Google Stadia got delayed or what? No, that's not good news. Oh my gosh. Don't even say that to me right now, dude.
What is that you're using?
This is Mob Crush Studio because I used to use Restream for it. Because this is going out to YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and my Facebook ADLR page all at once.
I thought you were using Discord usually.
No, with Restream, it had a bot that would relay the text or the chat to my Discord as well, and so it keeps everybody in sync regardless of where you're watching it.
Wow.
But when I tried to sign into a Restream, it's like, no, you can't log in. And I tried talking to customer service, and they gave me a laundry list of stuff they want me to send to them that I'm like, I don't really want to deal with this right now. And then I just started using Mob Crush, and I just haven't gone back yet to go sort out my account for Restream. But I'll probably go back to it once I get it because I like that relay system. So, I mean, it doesn't matter where you watch. You can see what everyone is typing from different platforms. Oh, what was I talking about? Red Dead Redemption on PC, Randall. People can play this game in 4K now with great quality settings. And also on Stadia with, I mean, they can't mod anything on Stadia, but they can like, on PC, I'm sure the modding scene's going to go crazy.
Still gonna look dirty.
I mean, unless they mod it so there's no dirt.
There's dirt everywhere in the Western.
I mean, unless you remove the textures, Randall.
It's in the boots.
That still doesn't say it.
And in the gun.
You can, all that can be redone. What I don't think you understand what modding is. Roughly a year later than the PS4 release, I guess. Yeah, that seems pretty much on par now because GTA 5 was very similar. It was like a year after Was it a year after, or no? Am I lying? No, a year after came the pro versions, not the pro versions, the next gen versions where there were 60 FPS, and then months after that release, the PC one came out. If I'm not mistaken. I guess I'd just slide. GTA 5 was like 6 months after. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna keep the ball rolling, Randall. Stadia. It's on Stadia now. They were
I
like,
just
hey,
want to announce that as a update, Bryant is having. Well, I was going to say that Bryant's status update is that he's pre-meltdown, but I don't even see him anymore. So.
He already melted down. This is our setup right now. It's my face on the right hand side. I think Randall's on my end. Yeah, excellent.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
So
when he comes
now.
back, is it going to autocorrect?
It should autocorrect. Yes. This is what happens when you try to do a podcast with Discord and not everybody next to each other.
It's just weird because it seems like you guys keep changing interfaces and software.
We haven't changed anything.
So you're saying their updates are screwing everything up?
I don't know what Brian's issue is. His is probably, I don't know if it's his hardware or software related, but all
it's
this.
It's because for whatever reason.
Oh, you're back.
Do I sound bad now?
No, you're loud as hell now. Hold on.
Does it sound fine or no?
Yeah. All right, talk.
You lying to me?
All right, that sounds pretty good. Say your name backwards.
Tanayerb.
All right. I think
Does it sound like before or no?
It sound louder and a bit clearer. Like it's better than before.
Okay.
That's all I can say right now.
Every time I hear Brian say, "You lying to me," I picture him talking to his girl, and she's telling him that she's not pregnant, but she doesn't believe that she's not pregnant, but in fact, she is pregnant. But
what, Rand? What are you saying?
I'm saying that every time Bryant says, "You lying to me," the way he says it, "You lying to me," it sounds like he's having a conversation with his girl, and she's telling him that she's not pregnant, but she in fact is pregnant, but he knows that she's pregnant, but he's trying to get her to tell him the truth. So he says, "You lying to me?"
So Javi says this is your fan fiction. Is that true?
Fan fiction?
Yeah, like
it sounds like a nice story though, doesn't it?
Yeah, man, Randall, I would go see that.
Give nice stories, and I think my wife's lying to me.
I said your girl. I didn't say you were married.
Okay.
You look nervous.
So on top of Stadia getting Red Dead Redemption 2, let me just get this quickly out so we can talk about stuff you guys want to talk about. All right, let me have this moment. Thank you. Bad news first. We have a good news, good news sandwich here. You know what I'm saying? Doom Eternal was delayed till 2020, which is unfortunate because I was looking forward to playing that on Stadia. But yeah, I think it's early March if I'm not mistaken. I should have put that down on here. Yep, March 20th, 2020 of next year. They have the reasoning, but to me, to be honest, it was delayed. I don't even know the reason. Just make it as polished as possible.
I trust them.
Yeah. Doom 1 was fantastic. It was fun as heck. And then to wrap up, the good news with Stadia that today they had a Google press conference made by Google for this year where they showed off Pixel 4, the new Nest Wi-Fi mesh router,
Earbuds.
The earbuds that look pretty cool. What else? The Nest Mini, like the hub, like the Alexa knockoff. Not knockoff, but you know what I mean. Cobra's in the chat says he doesn't have any immediate games to look forward to. They effed up the Breakpoint, which is Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which I was excited for. Yeah. Yeah. So and they sprinkled in their Stadia's coming out November 19th at 12 p.m. Eastern. It'll go live, the service, with a helpful video showing how things work. Not how things work, but like a little rundown of how things are going to be working. It showed a bit of the UI. I don't know if that's final or not, but it looks cool. I'm excited. That means my controller's probably going to ship soon.
That concerns me because I feel like I don't want to be here when that thing goes live.
I'm gonna be at work. It's on Tuesday, Randall.
I feel like you're gonna go overboard and be like, I'm gonna come up here, and you're gonna be in nothing but your underwear with baby oil all over your body, but it's really sweat. And you're just gonna be super excited about playing this.
I probably won't be able to sleep, to be honest. Like that Tuesday morning, I'm gonna be excited to get work done so I can get back here and try it. Hopefully everything launches fantastic. But as soon as that package comes in, like with the controller and the Chromecast Ultra, I'm probably gonna like freak out. And I looked at the games that are out that's gonna be out in Stadia that's already been announced, and I already have like 6 or 7 games that I'm buying it on there.
We have free access to them.
I need you to chew, swallow, then speak, Brian, because I didn't get any of that. Did you get something?
You're gonna have free access for 3 months to those games. So you don't have to buy them right now.
No, Brian, you sound misinformed like the rest of the world.
I think even less things with Stadia. Got it.
Stadia Pro is not. You get all access to every game. Stadia Pro is like PlayStation Plus, but without
what games.
Right now, it's just Destiny, and then the next month they'll give you another one. The next month they'll give you another one.
When it goes to the next month, do you keep Destiny as long as you have the subscription?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys need a lowdown on what the difference between Stadia Pro and Stadia Free, it is better. You don't have to pay for a console.
I thought it was like Uplay Plus, where they just give you access to like almost every fucking Uplay game for the subscription.
But I mean, once you've played Far Cry 3, you've played a lot of the Ubisoft games. Zing!
You have Division, you got Siege, you got Wildlands, you got Breakpoint when it comes out. You're gonna have Gods and Monsters when it comes out. You got the Beyond Good and Evil until the second one comes out. What are you talking about, dude?
And all of that's gonna be on Stadia. It's gonna be great.
Per month.
No, what are you talking about?
Uplay Plus is like
I know it's a subscription, but those games will be on Stadia. So I can just buy Gods and Monsters and play it on Stadia.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to buy it with Uplay Plus. As long as you're paying the subscription, you have access to all these games already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they'll transfer that over to Stadia. They're gonna allow subscriptions.
What do you mean?
Like you can get a Uplay subscription through Stadia. So then now on Stadia you have all those Uplay games.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I know it's cool. I've been knowing it's cool. Randall, do you know it's cool? But... I don't think you know it's cool. It's cool. Speaking of xCloud, yesterday they started the private beta for xCloud. So check your emails, I guess, if you signed up, because they'll start sending in through waves.
For what?
For the xCloud thing. You made a joke, but something actually happened yesterday. So they started the private testing for it. So you might get an invite for it. Cobra in the chat says, you know what that means, Randall? You cannot saturate the download speed of your internet connection or Anthony will be mad. There's no way he can desaturate it. We have a gigabit download. If he finds a way to just like 74K streams or something, maybe. But then again,
real quick?
What happened?
Do I sound the same? I still sound good?
Yeah, you still sound fine. You haven't changed anything.
I closed something by accident.
Okay. What was I going to say? And even if Randall's trying to troll me, I'll just limit his speed. Like if worst comes to, I'll be like, "Yo, you are not passing this much because I need at least 30 megabits." So you can fill up 970 of it, Randall, if you want, but I'm getting at least 30 megabits to play my Stadia. You get it? I highly doubt you will saturate that. Just download 10 Linux ISOs at once. I'll tell you, I'll limit him. Like. If I ever go to Stadia, I'm like, yo, having trouble streaming, and I go to his room and he's just smiling at me with like 80 tabs open with all the 4K in the world. First, I'm gonna suplex him off the second story, and then I'm gonna limit him if he survives. Right, Randall?
I always survive.
I'm not saying you're not gonna survive. I said if you survive.
It never happened.
So besides that, I guess they showed up they have a new video out showing off information of Stadia. It comes out the 19th. You're definitely going to have news and reviews about it because I'm going to be there bodying it, you know? Speaking of more streaming stuff, Steam joins in on the Parsec tool, on the Parsec game. So, I don't know if we remember, anyone who's watched me stream with my brother, Cool Guacamelee 2, we use Parsec. Parsec is an app on computer that lets you basically stream your game to a friend fast enough so they can see what's happening in real time, so they can connect to your PC with a controller and play as if you are sitting next to them, local split screen. So games like Damn, what doesn't have online in split screen? I guess
Nuclear Throne.
Nuclear Throne is co-op, right? And there's no online.
Enter the Gungeon.
And Enter the Gungeon, perfect. So in Enter the Gungeon, it's 2-player split screen. Someone from, let's say, Texas or something wants to play with me split screen game like Enter the Gungeon, but it doesn't support online. I would load up Parsec, stream that, have it set up appropriately. He can ask to connect to me. I say yes, and now his controller is virtually connected to my computer, thinking it's 2 controllers. He hits A on his controller. The game's like, oh, second player is connected, and boom. And Cobra's asking, so it's local co-op over the internet? Pretty much. Like, since I'm the host, you'll just get the stream that's happening from my computer, and Bryant's tried it. We played Guacamelee 2 almost to not to completion, but we played a hefty amount of it, I think, on stream too.
And with an ideal connection, it's been proven to be less lag than most of these fighting games online.
So it's the latency is really low on that. And you just got, of course, depending on everyone's internet connections and how everything works.
Speaking of latency, once you're done with that, I have a segue, something I didn't add on there.
All right, hold on, let me get through the Steam stuff on here. Now Steam's coming out with Remote Play Together, because they already have the technology to remote play from any computer they have Steam installed. So you can be on your phone and hit, hey, I want to play The Witcher, and just connect your Xbox or PS4 through Bluetooth or through a USB connection, and play on Steam from your computer. It'll stream the video. Now they're adding what I just explained Parsec does, where you can have a Steam friend request to play with you on a split screen game that doesn't have online and do the same thing. All of that just to get that news out there, Randall. Can you imagine? And then the last but not least, Sony came out and launched a bunch of information on the PlayStation 5. Launching holiday 2020 next year. Oh, Brian, you wanted a segue, didn't you? I hear a lot of noise, Brian, coming from. I think it's your mic. But I hear like white noise. I mean, like
when I'm talking.
When you're not talking, like it comes in and out.
My fan's on. Alright, so speaking of low latency,
go for it.
The netcode known as GGPO is now open source and free to use for anybody trying to implement that into their game.
Oh, I've heard that.
What GGPO is a form of rollback netcode. So most things use, I forget what it's called, but if there's a really bad connection, it will skip basically the parts in between, and like it seems like it's flash forwarding to whenever your connection is stable. So like when you're playing Street Fighter 5, the shitty connection, you'll see them doing like bleach levels of flash stepping, which makes it online a bad experience. But with rollback, like GGPO, you can pre-program how much delay you'll have, and in moments when there's bad connection, it'll basically buffer the inputs in between, so you don't drop stuff, you don't drop any inputs or anything like that. It's a more stable, consistent way to do netcode, and now it's available to anybody who wants to implement it into their game. Skullgirls uses it, and Fightcade uses it, and it's some of the best online I've ever played on. So if you're making a game, GGPO or you're dead to me.
Gotcha. That's good news, actually. I remember reading that. I'm like, oh, now people can use it. Without having to pay anything, I think. Hold on, I'm clicking on random things. And then the PlayStation 5 launches in 2020. They confirmed a bunch of stuff with the ray tracing stuff, and hold on, let me go into... They had a story on Wired. Something bad happened. Oh, now I can't see the story now. There it is. I was gonna fight someone, Randall. I don't think you were ready for that fight.
Oh shit.
Ooh-wee. All right, so I thought I had it on a table of some sort. But yeah, now it's gonna have the PlayStation 5 is gonna have an SSD. It's gonna have some hardware to incorporate ray tracing similar to Nvidia's RTX, but it's gonna be AMD's equivalent. What else huge was there? I'm sorry. They're both going to be AMD Ryzen, like custom Ryzen CPUs. I think those were the huge ones. The SSD, the ray tracing. Was there another thing on here? Being able to install only the multiplayer side of the game. I think they sort of tried that with PS4 and no one really took advantage of it. So
are you talking about PS5?
Yeah.
The controller features were cool.
What was it again? Because
the feedback for the trigger now is like different. It's somehow they're able to program into the controller that if you're pulling the trigger on a gun versus pulling back a bow, you can tell the difference by the resistance on the trigger.
Oh, so they added Yeah, okay. They added programmable resistance to the trigger. Got it.
And they upgraded the rumble mechanic. I don't know if it's as good as a Switch, but they said they improved on it.
There's an improved speaker on the controller as well. But yeah, I'm sure they're gonna have like some sort of state of play where they explain this more. I'm not sure why they just went with a blog post with this, but yeah, same type of GPU based on the Navi family for AMD as well. So hey, we might have some ray tracing, some light ray tracing in the next season. And next gen for consoles, which is good.
I don't really care about that stuff. I just want consistent 60 frames.
But wouldn't you want a consistent 60 frames with ray tracing?
If that's an option, but if it's like we're gonna keep it 30 frames but have ray tracing, like I don't. It's appalling still.
You say that, but when you feel like you're in Cyberpunk, you're welcome.
I'm not playing on a fucking console.
Ray tracing's supported on PC, bro.
Okay, I don't care. That's good, but you also have 60 frames on PC whenever you want.
Not whenever you want. Because if I crank it up to 4K, it ain't gonna be 60 frames. You hear me, Randall?
Yeah, I'll have 60 frames in total.
And that's it for the news, people. Those are the big news anyway. Unless you have some other news on there, Randall, that we didn't write. Okay, cool. Brian, got your... Is that Twitter post the GGPO thing?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So you're probably wondering, my loyal fan base of 4.3 billion listeners, why didn't we record one last week? Well, we were at a wedding. The man underneath of me, if you're watching, his wedding. He couldn't make it to this episode because he's on his honeymoon. So, and we drove back down that Monday before, and we had absolutely nothing on the dock for last week's episode. So we're like, F that.
Yeah,
we're gonna move on to the next. We're just gonna bump the episode. We
literally just bulled from Friday to Monday, basically.
Yeah, we didn't consume a single thing. So yeah, we went over there, drove up to. What was it, South Carolina? I keep forgetting. South Carolina. Cobra's asking, was it a long drive? Yeah, it was a 6-hour drive. We made it over there Friday afternoon, like at 4 or 5-ish. Rented an Airbnb. It was pretty cool. Look, the thing was, the wedding was pretty fun. That starting off though, it was out like the the ceremony was outdoors, so I was sweating profusely for quite some time, and I couldn't wait to get back inside for the reception. Once I did, it was still kind of hot, and then we started doing a bunch of goofing off and dancing and having a good old time, and boy was I sweating.
I don't get how my body works, because I was outside during the first part, not a drop of sweat. I'm in Antarctica, pits be dripping, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
it does make sense if you think about it.
Because your body's getting hotter to prevent you from dying from the cold.
Yeah.
But it's letting out cold liquid in my armpits.
That's how your body cools you off.
It's only cold because it's cold outward, so it's just water, and then it cools down because it's cold.
Yeah, but then my follow-up question to that is, why is it only in the pits?
That's probably when you're most sensitive.
What is that junk called?
Pit sweat?
Reaction.
No. It's
hyperhidrosis.
Cobra says that if he drove for 6...
I think it's called overactive glands or something like that.
It might be. I know I do.
Sweat glands.
I definitely have that. Mine's always putting in overtime. Crow said if he drove 6 hours, he'd be in another country. I mean, that's a pretty cool pro, though. That's a pro. That's not a negative, dude. Like, oh, I just want to go to this now. I'm just gonna drive for 4 hours. I'm in another country.
I think the bartender when we were there just wanted to see me like pass out because I don't even think she actually put something else besides alcohol in there.
There was two. There was two of them, right? There was two bartenders. One of them, I tested this series, so I got a drink from one of each. One of them was there to make everyone pass out. And the other one actually, one of them was like, "Yo, here's a sample of juice, and here's the rest of the alcohol, dude." Like
the final call, I was like, you know what? Let me. I'm not supposed. You shouldn't mix, but I was like, let me get an orange juice and some vodka.
I thought you were gonna say Henny.
Yeah, they didn't have. I asked for that. They said they didn't have any, and then asked for lemon. They didn't have any, which is why I drank soda instead of juice. Broke the streak. What was I saying? There was no orange juice. Maybe it was just the color orange, not the movie. The color purple is a movie. Clockwork Orange is a movie. Okay. It was like the color orange juice. It was so like highly concentrated alcohol. I just gave the drink away because I was not ready at the end of that day to drink that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the alcohol was great. I controlled myself. Only had like 1 or 2 drinks. Still couldn't. Still, I went out there and acted like a fool. Danced a bunch, sweat a bunch. My quads were hurting by the end of the night. Like, when I sat down, it would tense up to a point where I'm like, I bet you I look like a superhero drawing down, like, on my quads. If I would, like, flex it, you just see, like, all the definition. I'm like, dang, I look good. Anyway.
The only part of me that was sore, and I guess it's just my body hitting random like usual.
Yeah.
My right shoulder from the day after to Tuesday, 2 days after that, was sore. Just my right shoulder.
That's weird. But that's not weird, actually. Once I've seen how you lift weights, that's not weird at all.
Yeah, but you think my whole body would be sore?
No. Your body just randomly chooses a muscle group that's not related to the exercise you're doing, and then it's like, that's what we're going to work out right now. That's what we're contracting.
I do neck day.
That's where the tension's going to be at. Cobra says he went to a wedding that was 100 degrees outside. I would have melted. You would have seen me go like a witch. Cobra said that. So he went to
That's what I'm saying. Was he inside though, or was he outside still?
I would imagine outside if he's talking about the weather or how hot it is.
That's fucking depressing.
It's not depressing. It's painful. My eyes are hurting just thinking about the heat going into them.
If I'm at a wedding, it's 100 degrees. I'm not wearing my suit. I'm in bathing suit. I'm wearing fucking trunks. That's what my car temp sensor said. Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess you can go by that too. But yeah, then we had the wedding. It was fantastic. Then we woke up at 9-ish, drove back down, got back home at 5-ish, right? 4, 5-ish.
Somewhere between 4 and 6.
On Monday, yeah, and then I'm like, okay, back to work the next day. I didn't have anything on that dock, and then boom, skip a week. Now we're here. But boy, did we watch something this weekend. Should we just jump into Joker, or do you guys want to talk about Lion King or Gemini Man or The Boys or Indivisible?
I'm just going to tell you right now, probably the thing I have most to talk about is Indivisible. So you let me know if you want the longest or shortest thing first. Because the Joker, I can sum up in a whole sentence.
Well, I get it, but I mean, we need to do more than just give him a sentence, you know?
I'm saying on my part.
Oh, okay. Cobra said after that, I said never again at that temperature. I mean, I'm right there with you. I'll fight that movement. I'll join that movement. Oh, Javi's asking, did we get to play Smash vs. Jambi? We did not, because he decided to come in later or not show up at Kelsey's house at all. We did play again. I don't think we did teams though, did we?
No, Adam didn't ever play, I think.
Yeah, when we were going to do teams against the Kelseys, Adam didn't really play. So we just did like 4-player with a bot. So we didn't really get to settle anything officially. But boy, I was wiping that kid's face into the ground. Randall, don't laugh because you're next. You hear me?
Oh.
Shoot. Remember Miguel. Don't ever forget Miguel, dude.
Oh, my God.
I remember him constantly getting off the ground.
Because to say, hey, I won.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, shit.
To lift his hand up. Because he dropped his
The
wallet.
super animation.
Yeah, dude, the heck?
The dude wake up super animation.
And connect. Because Randall doesn't know how to block. All he knows is lose. So, tell me about Lion King, Randall. Speaking of losing.
Speaking of not blocking.
Yeah,
This is the live action one, by the way, people. No, not live action. The CG one that came out this year.
Yeah, there isn't really much to say about it other than that it wasn't great, in my opinion.
Okay, well, like this isn't like a text message we're having. What didn't you like about it, dude?
A lot of stuff, man. They cut out stuff that was really important in the story. The songs didn't hold up to the originals.
Yeah.
Visually, it was beautiful.
The CG was done really well.
The CG looked really well. They look very realistic.
I saw complaints that they were saying that since the lions look so realistic, like they didn't emote that well because they were all just a regular. Like you didn't see as much emotion in their CG faces in comparison to like obviously the hand drawn ones that were back in the day.
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of the emotions were in their eyes.
But
I mean, it's so subtle. It's not really like very obvious.
Right.
Which is what they teach you in animation. They teach you to overdo it to sell the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
But because this is so subtle and realistic, and on top of it, you're giving animals human characteristics and features. So it's weird. That in itself is weird, but I think that it wasn't done. How can I put it? It wasn't wonky. It wasn't like, wow, that looks crazy. It wasn't like that. It was just like, okay, I get it. Like, it didn't take me out of the movie. Okay. Even though the movie was, man, it just bothers me so much because it's like, I don't know why I thought that maybe it might be. I didn't think it would be better than the original, but I thought that maybe it might meet it, like come close. Because I'm thinking logically. I'm like, okay, we got Lion King. Everything is all set up. It's already a beautiful story. All you have to do, and we had this conversation in the car. All you have to do.
I never met you in my life.
It's okay. It's focused on. Have them focus on. Making the movie look beautiful and pretty. That's all you had to do. You had to change anything. Now, if you came across some points in the movie where you could improve upon it, that's great. But those key elements in the story, the things that like touch people's heart or were very monumental things that people remember,
the things that made it nostalgic.
Yeah, you don't touch that stuff. You avoid that stuff like it's a plague. Like, you just leave it alone and you dance around and you add your little taste here and there. They didn't do that. They was like, you know what? The conversation that Simba has with Rafiki, something that's really important, we're just going to cut that junk down. And it like 60% of that conversation didn't even occur.
They need to get as quickly as possible back to Beyonce, though. That's the thing.
And then there was like this part of the movie where, man, I can't remember what was supposed. I can't remember what happened, but I know it changed. It was like, oh, that's what it was. So it was that part in the movie when Rafiki talks to Simba and he's telling him, like, you know, your father lives within you.
Yeah.
And then he has the conversation with his father.
Yeah.
So his hair from his mane falls off. And then literally for 5 minutes, we are following a piece of hair travel across Africa.
Nice.
Did it do that, though?
Yeah, I bet it did in real life. Brian, can you lower your noise gate, I think it is? Because you're just sitting there and I keep hearing ooh, ooh.
Well, on you sack of shit.
All right.
I'm not trying to take anything from the people who made the movie because, like I said, as far as visually, man, it was incredible. But It was just bad, man. It was really bad. I like.
So at this point, you just would not recommend people watch this.
Heck no. Especially if you've seen the original, don't do it to yourself.
What if you haven't, and they don't have the nostalgia with them?
Then go watch the original.
Okay, so just that's all I'm
If
asking.
you want to see Lion King at its best, go watch the original. Go watch the cartoon.
Got it.
There's way more
animation, Randall. It's not a cartoon. All right.
Animation.
I'm just joking. All right.
There's way more emotion. The music is way more impactful. It sounds better. The animation is better.
Javi's asking if the voices were good at least.
I mean, they had a lot of the original. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot of the original, but they had James L. Jones to play Mufasa, so that was cool. But I think everybody else was different, obviously. The dude who talked like, okay, so Rafiki sound kind of similar. Simba, it was weird with Simba's voice because when he was younger, when he was a cub, he kind of sounds similar to he did in the cartoon.
But then when he got older, they swapped to Childish or Donald Glover, right?
Yeah, and he sounded different. Simba's mom, she sound the same. I'm wondering if they got the same actress. I'm not sure, but she sound the same. Mufasa sound the same. Rafiki sound the same, kinda. But everybody else sound different. There was a part where what's his name, Yazoo? He when I first heard him speak, I was like, man, that sounds weird. But then it was weird because like as the movie progressed and he started to sound more like him. So I guess that was cool.
Was Idris Elba in the voice acting?
Yeah, he did. Oh my God, I don't want to get on that. He was Scar. And I just don't understand, man. It just hurts my heart.
I didn't even know Idris was in it. I know he was doing Cats. I didn't know he was doing.
I was wondering why. I was like, I kept thinking Scar. And I was like Idris Elba. I'm like, is he in this? Isn't he in that movie?
I think it was him. I'm not 100% sure.
You're lying to me then.
I thought Idris Elba was gonna be in Cats, not in Lion King.
I could be wrong. Maybe he was in the what's it called, the Jungle Book.
He was in the Jungle Book. He was the antagonist. If I'm not mistaken. Again.
So I don't know. Maybe that wasn't him, but I don't know. Scar. Oh
no, Scar is the guy that was Mordo in Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Yeah. So my final consensus is that if you want to see something appealing visually, sure, why not? You can watch it. But if you're looking for pure Lion King nostalgia, if you've never seen Lion King and you want to see a great movie that's animated,
still stick with Lion King original.
Still stick with Lion King original because, and if you compare the two, it doesn't hold. It's nowhere near close as good as the original.
To reproduce that magic,
it's not even. It felt so bad, man. It felt like. It kind of felt like it's kind of like how Bryant felt when he like finally got Sagat and then
he didn't. Well, he ended up using it that day.
Yeah, but if you look at the overall picture, it's like
he doesn't even.
First of all, he spent a whole bunch of money on one character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were there.
Then he doesn't even like the game. So it's like you feel defeated because it's like you had so much hope, excitement, and as far as like Lion King goes, you have this feeling that you remember, and then it was just ripped from you. Like it didn't matter. It was like it. You know what it felt like? It felt like a bunch of people were sitting around a table and said, "We can make money if we remake Lion King in CG form, and we just gonna do whatever we can to make money off of this."
Well, they seem to be on a remake streak now because they started off with what was it? Beauty and the Beast was the first one,
I think. Jungle Book technically,
but I don't know if okay, I guess so. Jungle Book, then Beauty and the Beast, and then Aladdin, and now Lion King.
And then Little Mermaid.
And then Little Mermaid is going to be they're just remaking everything in live action. So I mean, like, brace yourself because there's going to be more and more that they remake and you might not like.
Well, I've never seen the original Aladdin, so when I saw the new one, I was like, or whatever.
That's unfortunate.
Little Mermaid I did see, and I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna want to see the new one. Lion King, obviously.
I think you should watch the original Aladdin for Robbie's sake.
I don't like that you call him Robbie.
We're close. We were close. Robin Williams, Randall. Why are you looking straight dead eye like?
I don't know. It just never appealed to me for some reason.
Racist.
What does that have to do with racist?
Oh goodness. All right, Brian. I guess a quick update since you ended up watching The Boys season 1. Can we confirm it's legit good, or was Kelsey just it's his own thing?
He was on one, I think, but it was still entertaining. Like
So you do recommend people go and watch this?
Yeah, I enjoyed my time with it, but he was saying it like this was like Journey, but like in show form, and that's not the case.
I remember the Game Awards that year when Journey came out, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
I was waiting for it to win the racing category.
I don't know if they confirmed the season 2, but if they didn't, like if let's say this is the only season that happens, it's kind of a cliffhanger.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I doubt it because I'm sure I haven't looked up the critics review and stuff, but I'm sure that people and it's an Amazon Prime show, so I'm sure they'll dump in another season and see how it goes. Especially
since it seemed like it did well amongst people.
Yeah, like it. Critically, I think it wasn't like, oh, this is trash, so they'll keep it going.
Yeah, it's as far as I'm going to say. I don't remember if he went over like a brief synopsis of the show.
He did. He went into it a bit, so we don't have to repeat ourselves here. So.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want something just fun, a different perspective on superhero stuff, if you don't have a weak stomach, then yeah, go for it.
Is this the same show with a guy killed the girl by running into her?
Yes, that's the one.
Running through her, not just through her.
Through her.
Yeah, remember this is Kelsey went through over this because I remember you had that same reaction. Speaking of comic book stuff, the reviews are out for critics for Watchmen, the show, and everyone's liking it. So
that doesn't mean anything to me.
I know, but it just lets me know I need to maybe look out and watch it myself.
You know what else a lot of people were claiming to like, Anthony?
What?
Joker.
Well, I mean, let's dive in. Great. I wasn't gonna go to Joker already, but let's get into it. Joker. We saw it Sunday night.
Before you start hammering it, why don't you start off saying what you liked about it?
All right, I'll start off with what I liked about it. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker moments were great. Where he did Joker things. As in planning ahead. As in making you feel like anyone in the current situation cannot make it. The director, whoever the writers did a good job on building tension. When Arthur Fleek is the character who turns into Fleck. What did I say? Fleek. Fleck is the
Fleek, dude.
I'm on Fleek. Anyway,
nice arm.
Yes, so they did. What I liked about it was one, his suit at the end. I love how vibrant it was. In contrasting to, I'm gonna be comparing this to Dark Knight, so bear with me. I know it's a separate movie, but I understand that. But when there's a bar, you know, the suit would look cool. The moments, like there's a subway scene where I thought was fantastic because not only did the situation bring tension.
Which one are you talking about, though?
The first subway scene.
Oh.
Where the guys were bullying the girl.
Yeah.
Anyway, it did a good job with the lighting there, with the flickering light. Every time the light flickered, I'm like, something's happening. Like, It's just you're tense the entire time waiting to see what's about to happen because he's an unstable person. That they let us know that for quite some time that he's unstable, or has a mental illness or whatever the issue, whatever it is. The tension, yeah. So there's 3 scenes: the subway scene, his apartment scene, and obviously the last interview scene. And then after that, I'm like, okay, those were his Joker moments for me. That I'm like, okay, he is performing what I would think Joker would be like from all these years of me seeing different iterations of Joker. What else is good? And that there was some really
design,
good.
I would say.
Yeah, that's what I said. The cost
overall, though.
Oh, okay. It was shot really well. There were some very good shots, especially even some of the slow motion stuff that I wish just ended because man, there's so much slow motion in this. The shot with the shot looking upward while he's walking up, doing his day-to-day stuff to get a good sense of how down in his luck he is before he becomes Joker is great. Dang, I think that's about it, man.
I would say Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, being able to act as him, his performance is really good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm gonna go straight into a negative here. Whoever wrote, I'm trying to. I don't know if it was him deciding this is what his Joker is gonna be like, or if it was more the writers. But there's a lot of misses. There's a lot of him trying to do specific stuff. Like his whole take on Joker was not maniacal laughing, but based off a condition where people can't control their laughter. They have like manic laughter attacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that he went for that. It gets old. He as again, I'll attribute it to maybe the writing was off. He's not funny at all. Which I think if you watch the movie, is kind of part of his build-up.
He did have some lines that I really liked, and he did some of the stuff I thought was really funny. The "let me punch out" part that made me laugh. That was really funny.
I didn't laugh at that.
There was another line, but I forgot it because for me the negative is outweighing. Like there's just that I just not have a fantastic time with it. But go ahead, Brian.
The things that I found that I laughed at were like shock moments, his mannerisms when he's not dancing for 7 hours, and like by accident, he is like, oh, that's funny. Or the part that made me actually laugh was him dancing in the living room.
Yeah, that made me laugh.
Just because it felt like something I would have write. That's what made me laugh.
Oh my god!
Besides that, he's not funny. His like one-liner is like his little zings.
He didn't really have a lot of those.
It's just awkward. His I don't know. He sounds like just a grown little kid, and that's not really what I wanted to see.
Randal, go ahead. Let Randal finish his positives, and then I gotta get it off my chest. Go finish your thing, Randal. What did you like about this movie? Joker, 2019.
As already said, Joaquin's performance was. I mean, he's a really good actor. He did a good job at selling the whole in pain thing. Like you could tell that his condition, the whole condition laughter thing, was actually causing him pain. Because sometimes you can tell by his reaction in between laughing or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool concept, but like Brian, I think if it had went into a transition where it became sadistic, as the movie progressed, his laughter became more and more sadistic, almost like he was embracing it, like he was changing over.
Yeah,
I think if they had did that, then I would have been cool with it.
Because they kept showing, sorry to cut you off, they kept showing that it left him in pain, but it would have been nice if it was like, instead of like trying to stop it because it hurts, like you said, he embraces it and he gets it like, it seemed like they were gonna do that with like the social worker scene, was like, oh, I finally feel like some people see me now or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're right back to him cough, laugh, and crying thing.
Yeah.
We can keep going.
Obviously, the way he looked, his attire at the end. I would say, to me, his best representation of the Joker was in that apartment with the two guys.
The apartment scene, yeah.
The part when he was like this, when he had his hand on both walls, and the guy was talking and he was looking down, and the way he looked up, like the way his body was contorted and the way he looked up with the white paint on his face, I was like, that's Joker. Because it was intimidating, it looked sadistic, it looked crazy. It was like, if I was the other dude while the other guy was talking, I would like, look, I think we should leave right now. Forget whatever it is that you're trying to talk to him about. We should just go. Because this dude doesn't look right.
Yeah, as soon as he opened the door, I wouldn't have gone in. I'm like, yo, what? Why he painting himself, man?
Well, like, I mean, like that was normal because they all worked with him, so maybe they figured that he had another gig.
But then they haven't gotten to his they haven't gotten to his living room, and he said, "No, I'm not working again." I would have been like, and then you turn the heck out of there.
They said, what's with his face? He said he's celebrating. He's like, oh well, I gotta find a reason to leave. I'll see you.
Yeah. So, but that part to me out of the entire movie, that one part is best represented the Joker. Everything else in the movie, I didn't feel like he was Joker. I think I mentioned this in the car ride back, is that my interpretation of the Joker has always been that he's very chaotic. He comes across as a person who's unorganized and who's just like it's kind of like the Heath Ledger example. He's like a dog chasing its own tail. That's what the impression that he's always given me. But he has like his own weird and crazy way of being organized. He's always like steps ahead of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, the problem that I had with this Joker was like, I could not see him being that. I can't even see him I understand this is the awakening of Joker, but I couldn't even see him transitioning from where he is now to becoming that legendary Joker that everyone knows about, that is considered the greatest villain ever in DC history. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's, I mean, I guess that leads into one of my biggest complaints is there's Cobra in the chat said Joker got a 8.9 out of 10 on IMDb. There's a reason for that. This is a great movie about a man with mental illness. This is not, in my opinion, a great story about Joker. They had, like I said, those three things that I mentioned, the scenes, those were the Joker moments. And altogether, those scenes, probably 10, 12 minutes out of a 2-hour runtime. It's the pacing is so slow that that build up to the last like Joker scene that I mentioned wasn't worth it. It ends right when you're like, so did he stumbles into being the Joker, if that makes sense. Like that, this is not, for me, not a Joker story. This is just a great story about a mental illness. I went to go see Joker, or maybe, okay, let me back up again because I'm gonna start ranting again. What made Joker more fascinating for me, the first time I witnessed him in an animated series or wherever, is you don't know where he came from. Batman doesn't know where he came from. He was just there. He had no history. He was just a man. Like, I think it was in Dark Knight, he said he just wanted to see the world burn. Mm-hmm. That's all you knew. And he will plan 7 steps ahead to make that happen. He will play with you because he knows the next move is his. He's not going to die because Batman's there to... He doesn't do that. He knows his opponents. He plays to their strengths and their weaknesses.
He sets it up so he wins either way, because either in the comics, at least in Killing Joke, his whole mantra is, even in Dark Knight, everyone's just one bad day away from being him.
Exactly.
So he wins either way. Either you're not going to kill him and he lives by another day, or you turn by killing him and he's right. So it's controlled chaos in a sense.
And I didn't see that. I didn't feel that by the end of this movie. Like that buildup of him going through, he was going through some stuff. He went through a lot, and just this in this it's very dark, and he goes through a bunch of bad things. But by the end of it, he's not that Joker to me. He's just a man who's I don't want to spoil it, but he rises, I guess, to become a villain. But that's not the Joker I was hoping to see. Like this is if you like a slow grind for character development and stuff, this has it, but it's just not
worth it.
It's that payoff was not it, because I'm thinking at the end of this we're gonna see some Joker stuff, and I guess another thing that was bad is that I guess killed my expectations or whatever is people were left and right the violence in this movie. Oh my god, like I'm expecting he's gonna go buck wild halfway through this, and he's gonna go maniacal, and there's no Batman to keep him in check. No, the violence was nothing in comparison to what other movies have been showing. The violence here is the people who are complaining about this violence haven't seen a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Or The Boys.
Like the violence is nothing. It's like I may be desensitized to it, but this was not a violent movie. This had a bloodshed that not a lot of it is shown. You see the literally blood, but you don't see the insertion. Like how can I explain it?
You see like the splatter, but you don't see. They don't really focus on what causes the splatter. It's like boom, something happens.
There's gunshots, but just like gunshots, sometimes it happens so quick. It just looks like it. You can tell it's fake. Like it's fake. It just appears there. Scene, I don't know, man.
There's a scene that I thought they were gonna take a page from Drive, but it ended up falling short in terms of how gruesome it was. It has to do with I can't say.
Oh, you talking about an alleyway?
The alleyway.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about the apartment.
So
yeah,
what I thought he was talking about, you know, the part in the elevator in Drive.
Yeah,
I thought when I saw the trailer, I thought that part when he was in the alleyway, Joker. You know what I'm talking about? With the garbage bags.
Yeah, you thought that was...
It was right after he got fired.
Yeah, you thought that was him.
I thought he was giving somebody the business like your boy was giving somebody in the elevator.
It wasn't somebody. It was a specific somebody.
But
he melted his face with his boot.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand.
I thought that was a person, but...
Yeah, I thought it was his boss at first.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint, well, minus the one that you said, so I'm going to say a complaint and then something that this movie showed me that makes me excited for something that won't happen.
What the heck?
And that's, so my biggest, it's kind of like with Charlize Theron not being Captain Marvel. Like I see her I see someone else that literally fits the Joker I want to see on the screen to the T. But before that, my biggest gripe is that there's not too many characters in this movie, like supporting characters. But even the ones that they have, if you took them out, nothing would really change. They could have filled it in with anything else. So like the girl with the kid, any other thing could have happened there to cause a bad day. A lot of the cast, it's basically like, you know how it was a Baron Zemo from Civil War, how he literally did not matter whatsoever. They could have done anything else with that movie for a villain and it would have been the same.
You mean Indiana Jones? Where they would have still opened that thing and they all melted anyway?
Oh, yeah. That's what the whole... Everyone who isn't walking or Joker, that's what it felt like. Because they try to do, but then this is failing and this is failing. But I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, like I think that, and that's maybe me bringing my own thing into this, my own expectations, but when I came to see... Like, I didn't really want a backstory for Joker. That to last an hour and 45 minutes. That makes sense? Like, we know how Peter loses Uncle Ben, boom, he becomes super
Bunkle
whatever.
Ben?
Did I say Bunkle Ben?
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Ben is what I meant. And then he like his thing is quick. By Batman at this point, we all know Batman. At the end, near the end, they have to show his freaking family dying again. We know.
Whoever played the kid Bruce, awful actor. He just stood there like, in every scene, just bang, bang. Credits. What was I
And
gonna
I'm
say
not, and
too, that you're hitting on? Killing Joke spoiled me. because they gave you a backstory that you don't even believe is the actual story. Because the whole point is he gives you a story. Uh,
It's like
Dark
the Dark
Knight.
Knight. He gives
I
everyone
keep
a
coming back
separate
to this. Yeah.
story. That's why I gotta bring it back. We have a grounded Joker done already.
He told like so many people about how he got those
How
scars
those
on his
scars?
face.
You don't
And
know
every
what,
story was different.
and that's the kind of mind games that he needs to play. There was none of that here. The
I don't remember
only
if it
mind
was in
game
Dark.
was the apartment scene with the other dude, and that's it. I don't know. I'm raising my voice at this point. I can see the meter going up.
So yeah, so the thing that this movie showed me is who should be Joker. Not to say again, Joaquin Phoenix did a good job with what he did a good job. This is basically like if he were to have like a portfolio, even though he's already a big actor, this would be in there just to show range, I would say. But Joker to me right now is Ramsey Bolton.
I would like to see
if they ever redo, like I was thinking about this after we saw it, if they ever again reboot Joker, just watch Game of Thrones, but give him a purple suit and just make him smile a little more, and you have Joker right there.
I'd like to see his interpretation too,
because we don't really get too much backstory besides he's a bastard. Anytime you see him on screen, you're like, who's dying?
Because he gives, when the first time he was on there, they showed how gruesome he is. Here we had an hour or something of woe is me, Arthur Fleck. Like I'm like
Joker, at least in like other portrayals of him, he usually has like some kind of British kind of accent to him. I mean, this man is European. I don't know how to pronounce his actual name, but I'm just gonna keep referring to him as Ramsey for now.
They love when they do that. He
has a yeah. I feel bad, but it's like Ewan, something like that.
We can look it up, dude. It's fine.
It's Iwan.
Cobra says it was more of an autobiography of Joker. No, because his life didn't end. By the end of this, he's still alive. So there's more to it. Maybe they'll make a sequel, but Joaquin Phoenix already said he doesn't want to do a franchise.
Autobiography just means that he wrote it. So he can be alive. Biography, something's written about you. Autobiography, you're right. That you wrote it.
I messed it up. My fault. But yeah, that. Either way, like I don't know.
I just need to see. I need to see. It's something else I'll give to him. At least it wasn't Jared Leto Joker, because this. At least we can say small things that like we didn't like about his performance. I just don't remember Jared Leto being Joker because I was just tired of it from the first. I watched the trailer, which I usually never do, and I saw him and I was like, I already wrote him off.
Oh, the laugh. I didn't like his laugh. It like Brian said, it got old. After the first couple of times, I'm like, okay. And then it wasn't menacing. They made it so every time he laughed, we're supposed to feel bad for him. And I'm like, this is not what we do. When I hear Joker laugh, I need to be pissing myself.
Yeah.
That's
why I'm saying Ramsey needs to be Joker, because when he comes into the screen, someone's dying, but he has a menacing smile almost all the time.
I don't know about his laugh though. He has a smile, but I don't know if he has a laugh.
I think he can do it. I believe in him.
That's cute.
But that's up to casting. If they
Lord of Hollywood.
If they want to miss and cast Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, which she did okay. Maybe it's just the writing that was bad, but not bad, but it was just lackluster. Maybe that's what it was. I don't really hate her. It's just I already had the perfect Captain Marvel in my head. But I just think another movie with Joker. It's not Jared Leto or Joaquin Phoenix. I want to hear however you pronounce his name, Ewan, something like that.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. If I remember correctly, there was an interview or something that came up with Joaquin Phoenix is like he doesn't want to make it a franchise. So unless they just dump money on him, I don't think he's gonna agree to it. So if this is the one and only one we get for a joke, like, well, I don't know.
I don't need like a Joker only movie like they did just now. This can be like its own piece thing, because we know Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Yeah,
right.
And they casted Selena already.
Zoe Kravitz, right?
Yeah.
Is who?
I think
it's Catwoman.
Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman. I was fine with. Now that I think about it, I think Anne Hathaway was like a good fit for Catwoman.
Yeah, she was a decent pick.
What was I gonna say? You have them. We just need to hear. X is Joker. Again, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm just gonna say I think it's Ewan. I don't know. The only thing is I think he's like 5'8", so he's not too tall and slender, but he hits every other category. Do it, bitch.
I guess Randall, you have anything to add? Because I'm just gonna wrap this thing up.
Just another example of never mind.
Yeah, it's like because we're in the minority here. Like Cobra's right. Like the rating. Yeah, the critics are loving this. The people
but critics don't count.
Even the people are loving this.
Really?
Kid Cudi liked it.
Like, let me go look it up. Let's go look it up right now. Live on October 15th. Let's look up Joker real quick. Oh my God, view all.
Didn't you have a scene where you used to show your browser on there?
Yeah, but I haven't set it up correctly. Where the heck is it? Oh my gosh, Joker, there it is. Top movies right now. 89. The fans gave it more than the critics did, on average. We're in the minority here. So when it comes to, do I recommend this to people? Yes, go watch it, because we are definitely the minority. You might love it like everyone else, and we might be some snobby people who want our own version of Joker to be on screen. But so I
wonder how many of that 89 are comic book readers.
Randall, you can't. A good portion of them, they would have to be, because I'm sure this movie made a lot of money, and it's not because random people like, yeah, maybe he's a stand-up comedian. They know who Joker is.
I'm inclined to lean more towards what you said earlier. Like,
if
you take the word Joker away from this movie, it's just a guy with an illness, and that in itself is the way it was presented. It was a very compelling story. It was dramatic. It was very engaging.
Exactly,
as far
it was very
as
dark.
That is concerned.
You start feeling for the character.
But the fact that you put Joker on it, now you have people looking for something else.
Exactly.
And they tend to look over everything else that you have put into that movie. Now, if you have which you probably did have a bunch of adults, people who don't read comic books or know very little about the Joker, they go into that movie just looking for a good dramatic movie. They're not looking for a Joker. So they see this dramatic movie and they're like, wow, this is great performance, great line delivery, so on and so forth, great mood. I think, that's just my opinion, I think a large majority of that 89 is from those people.
It could be. I mean, like I said, this is like a dude who's, the arc is, this man has a rough life and he starts taking control. And then he was the one being stepped on throughout the movie, and then he becomes the person stepping on other people. And that's technically this arc. And
you know what I would have wanted from this, now that
really
I think about it? You know what they did with Unbreakable and Split? If they would have just made their own non-DC connected little franchise, like make their own world with that kind of character.
Oh, and make this guy
would have been nice.
Got it.
Just Arthur Fleck. Which, I mean, I said in the car ride, I think his name is supposed to be a play, so it sounds like Affleck, like Ben Affleck, because he left.
Did you confirm that?
I don't know.
Oh. I'm not asking if you confirmed it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I haven't checked to see if anyone else thought that or anything. It seems like, I mean, it's one F off.
Right.
But I think that's what it is.
But that's about it, guys. Joker 2019. See for yourself, I guess. I personally did not. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think. You say to go ahead and watch it?
Just form your own opinion on it.
I mean, at the end of the day, yes. But if we ask what we think, this is.
There's clear bias when you put that name on a movie.
Yes.
For me, at least, there's clear bias. So
I agree.
Again, what I wanted from it, if I could, subtract that from it, maybe I would enjoy it more. But it's just, I can't even say. I can't say it's bad. It's just the same thing with Thor Ragnarok. It's just not made for me and mine.
Okay. Cobra said, "We all know that deep inside it's Anthony's guilty pleasure." No, I mean that
Rich Girl.
Right. That after watching the movie, I was bummed out, man. I was done with it. I just wanted to go home and sleep. But 1917 though. Anyway.
Speaking of sleep,
Randall, are you on the same boat here, or do you recommend it to people to go watch?
Yeah, I mean,
we're in the minority here, Randall. So I mean, I guess maybe you guys will like it. You know.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
I usually won't tell somebody not to go watch a movie unless it's complete trash.
Speaking of which, so tell us about Gemini Man.
It wasn't complete trash.
Oh, dang it. I was hoping it was, so I'll take that back.
It was one of those situations where it could have been a really, really, really good movie, but they end up dropping the ball at the end.
Oh, they didn't stick the landing?
Nah, they didn't stick the landing. The story itself was a little bit weak, but the action was really good. I don't know. It had a lot of potential. I just put it like that. There isn't really much I can go in depth. Like it's just a story about a guy who finds out that they cloned him, and now the clone is trying to kill him as a younger version of himself. And yeah.
It's not Looper. That's what I'm sounding. It's not. Looper's not this, Brian. I saw it in your eyes, and I'm like, don't you dare compare this to Looper.
I've never seen Looper, so that's why I was like, at least on paper, it sounds similar.
Nah, it's not Looper.
I haven't seen Gemini Man, but I highly recommend Looper. Looper's really good.
I haven't seen it.
It's one of those that was under the radar, but when I got access to the movie and I saw it, I'm like, holy crap, why aren't people talking about this? But again, I never looked up the critique rating for it, so it might be trash, and I just might be a guilty pleasure of mine. But Looper was pretty dope.
There was parts in the movie where the CG didn't hold up. It was like, oh man, what is going on?
The facial CG.
Yeah, and it was crazy because it wasn't so much. All right, so most of the time, the younger Will Smith looked really good. Like it looked like him from Fresh Prince.
Okay,
but the weird part was the CG that they messed up on was on the older Will, the more recent Will.
What the heck?
Because when his parts when he's like riding on, he's in a high speed chase and he's on the bike, so you get a chance, like he goes past the camera or whatever, the camera's locked on him and he's looking back behind him, and you can tell it's obvious that it's like a CG face on top of the body, on top of the stunt double.
Yeah,
and it doesn't look like him. Oh
no.
At least not to me. But I mean, I do this for a living, so I'm able to spot that stuff pretty quickly. But
and most people, I'm sure it was like a fast moving scene, so they don't spend that much
resources
if someone
I think if someone who doesn't do the CG stuff and all that stuff, if they were actually looking, I think they can tell. I think it was that obvious. But the action. It was good. The action was good. The story, like I said, the story was a little weak. It didn't have much depth. It was just very cookie cutter.
Okay.
But, I still think Will Smith is a good actor. But I don't know. I just felt like this story. See, sometimes I hate saying stuff like this because I have an idea of what all goes into making a movie as far as like the production and all that stuff like that. But I don't really know what it takes to like write a script and all that stuff like that. Like I've written scripts, but they weren't 2-hour movie scripts, So sometimes when I talk about movies, in the back of my mind, I'm like questioning myself, like, how difficult is this really? It might be extremely difficult and I just don't know it. But it's just like at the same time, it's like you have a whole team or whatever. And you have you go through these different meetings before you actually start shooting. It's just like, how does this stuff get greenlit? How does it get past the phase of the script? Like the script should be solid. I mean, like jaw-dropping solid before you start shooting. But it seems like they're just like, okay, yeah, this works. Let's go. Let's do the first shot. And I don't get it, man, because it's like these stories. In a lot of these movies that I'm seeing, these stories are not very deep, man. They're not deep. They're like they're either cookie cutter, and they might alter a couple of things to it. But other than that, it's not like I would think it would be like revolutionary. You know what I mean? Like it would evolve or something like that. And there are some stories that have evolved, like some stories that are really good, but it just seems like a lot of these movies, you know what it feels like too? It feels like what's going on with the gaming industry, like how like you pay $60 for a game and the game isn't really completed. Just like download stuff that's coming later. You know what I mean? That you got to pay another $20, $30 for. Well, back in the day, it's like even if the game got delayed 3 times, when it finally came out, it was a complete game, and a lot of times the game was very good. The story was very good. The gameplay was very good. You had you got your money's worth. It was a solid piece of work that was handed to you. With movies, it just feels like everything is like, I could be wrong, but it just feels like it's a quick buck. You know what I mean? Like, what can we make to get a lot of butts in the seat?
And sometimes that is the goal of whoever's producing it or whoever's distributing it. Like, that could be it. It depends. Those meetings are like, hey, we just need you guys to hit these marks.
I mean, it sucks because you feel robbed, man. Like as a viewer, you go to the movie, you spend your hard-earned money on these movies, and it's like you sit there for almost 2 hours or whatever. Sometimes hoping the movie gets better, but it never gets better. Then it's like you leave the theater and it's like you can't rewind time. You can't get that back.
Nope.
But,
but to your point of the game stuff, the reason why back in the day those games were complete is because they didn't have a choice. Now that we have the option for developers to push updates and push patches and stuff and more content, it benefits them to release something at 60 with not that much content and then release quote unquote free content and updates later on because they can fix their game that way. But before, when you only had a PS2 disc, you better hope that all of that is working, because if that gets pushed to the disc and it doesn't work, the amount that's going to cost that publisher or distributor to fix the game, remake CDs and put those back on the shelves, or have to do some lawsuit or something where they have to replace other people, that's ridiculous. So the money was on the line then. Now it's like,
or
that we can fix it and patch.
Did and just sell the same game with a slight patch over and over again, full price.
Oh wow! See, they knew what they were doing back then, dude. So I mean, the reason why things are like this now is because it's so accessible to make things now. In the entertainment business, you can make music easily now. Whether people will listen to it, it's different. You can make games now. Whether people will play it, that's different. You can make a movie, Randall. You can make full movies from your phone. There's 4K cameras right on your phone. You can shoot it. Get yourself a stand. Shoot it like you're Scorsese, dude. And then
so you're saying that because of the advances in technology and accessibility is now wide open, wider than it's ever been, it is also destroying creativity.
I don't know if it's destroying it. It's just now they have a bigger mark. The mainstream is now everywhere. Like you can.
What I would say is that the barrier is like no barrier of entry now, and everything is easily accessible to make things.
Like, why do you think we don't have 67,000 viewers right now? There's like another 4,000 people streaming. And not everybody's looking for a podcast to watch at this exact moment. And then podcasts also, there's thousands of podcasts that do this either better or they have personalities that they enjoy more than us. So that's the thing I can recommend is just do it for fun, do it for yourself. And hopefully someone sees it and shares it with a friend and they share it with a friend. And I know that sounds cliche, but that's how it works. And as for the movie stuff, man, like they're like, oh, what can sell this? Will Smith can sell it. So they have him on there as like the title card. He has a following. Like his Instagram account is probably one of the top ones on there because he posts that regularly, so he can get people in those seats. And they pay him. I don't know if they pay him for marketing and stuff, but like,
I don't know, man. Just me. I understand that money changes people, or I don't know what it's like to have millions of dollars in my bank account, but I just think that me now, even if I were to able to acquire a certain amount of wealth by doing movies, I wouldn't feel right as a person knowing that I contributed to making a crappy movie.
It happens. Sometimes it's out of your control. Unless you're gonna be the type of filmmaker where
But the thing
nothing
it's
go.
like when you, as an actor, you get offered the script, and you usually read the script, and then you say, you know what, yeah, I'm interested. Especially if you're a big name like Will Smith.
It depends, because some Marvel and like Disney, they sometimes don't do that. They're like, hey, we want you to be here. You're gonna audition for a part. They try to be as secretive as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm sure that no one was secretive with Gemini Man. They're like, hey, Will Smith, we had this idea. Do you want to do it or what? Or maybe it was brought to his agent, and the agent was like, hey man, you might want to do this. You can probably ask for this amount of cash. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? We're not in that business, so I can't give you like legit answers.
It had potential. I that's all I keep saying. It did, but it just.
So then we're back to this question, Randall. Do you recommend this to someone?
Yeah, to watch it at home, but don't
go to the theater.
Don't go to the movies.
This is a rental at home.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Will Smith, and you like, what was her name, Ramona? No, that's not her name.
Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim.
Ramona is what? That was the main girl, right? The one that skated all the time.
Yes, Ramona. Yeah. Get her name right, dang it.
So yeah, she's in it.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead is her name. The actress's name? She was in 21 Cloverfield. 21 Cloverfield Lane.
She's pretty, man. I like her. But anyway, so yeah, like her acting was good. Juan from Doctor Strange was in it. So the action was good.
More like Morona? Like Morona? Like you calling her dumb, or that's pretty not nice of you, John. Just kidding. La Llorona. Yeah, you forgot an L. All right. So yeah, so you still recommend it? I guess a rental.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, what do we still have left here? I think it's just Brian, right?
What, you want war?
Yeah, man. Indivisible, dude. Tell me what's been divided.
I'm gonna say is already top 3 games I played this year. I only have 5 hours in.
How many games did you play this year?
Like 15 maybe. They came out this year, like 15 maybe.
Okay.
What do I say? I'm gonna start with the story. The basic plot that you start off with and then you progress. I'm not gonna say the rest of it. Is you're a girl in a village whose father is very secretive about his past in terms of her past too. She grew up without a mother. She only knows her father. He trains her and like to be a warrior kind of. They don't always get along because she wants to know more about it. He's like distant to her. Big argument. Storms off. He storms off too. She comes back to her village. Everybody's dead. She fights the person that killed her father because he's like in his last breath. While fighting, he ends up getting sucked into her mind. Turns out she has an ability where she can absorb other warriors to help her fight. Because she has a tie to another plot point later on in the game.
Hold on, I gotta stop you already. The main dude who killed the village is in her head now.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, this is like a narrative thing, like what happened with the Joker in Arkham Knight, or is it like
she can summon the people in her head to fight with her?
What the heck? Okay.
So like she has like her own. I'm trying to think. She has an inner realm within her head.
Like the Soul Stone?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And she didn't know she had it until then. So basically the rest of the story is what the fuck's going on. Who did this warrior work for? Get answers from him. He killed my village and my dad. We got a war with the emperor, basically.
So is it like, okay, because I'm not getting this. So he's in your head now, right? And you can summon him to fight for you. So they just is it like a preacher where he tells you to do things and he has the voice and you have to do it? Like your body doesn't resist it? Like why does he fight for you?
Then? He's fighting because he's trying to take you. So the guy's angle is he's in an empire. He's a soldier.
Okay.
And he was sent to that village to to cleanse the heretics.
Okay.
So now that he's also mind fucked, but he's clearing the way so that he can take her to the emperor, like as like a not a bargaining piece, but like just to seize her, like to finish her off, like in his name, I guess.
Got it.
I only play 5 hours. That's not the end goal of the game. That's just
His
what I've
story.
played so far. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
a lot more stuff happens as it goes on.
Yeah, I hear that.
But
I
that's
keep hearing
just
that
the
it
beginning
opens up.
part. Yeah.
Okay.
So the story goes on. The story itself is kind of cliche, but the characters are entertaining enough that it's fun.
They're not like one
Each
note kind of characters that actually have like some depth to them, or
they have strong personality points that they don't necessarily steer away from. Some of them,
is it
but
like
that
Borderlands level, or is more depth than Borderlands? Because Borderlands usually like, oh, here's his character, like Torg. His thing is he yells all the time.
it's not like they're caricatures,
Okay.
but at least from where I am now, not too many characters have been given depth. Like the guy that she's with, there's development. Her herself, there's development. There's development within the characters. Again, I just haven't gone too far
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to see
5 hours.
some people are really one note.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the story's pretty cliche, but the characters make it worthwhile. There's a character who her backstory, I don't remember how, but she's like a she's like a witch that's known in her town. Like she has stories told about her.
Uh huh.
She fights with a tiger. Now I don't remember what happened to the tiger, but the tiger's soul was removed from his body. So his body's just like a limp thing. She wears his body as like a hood, and his soul is in a lantern that she uses to do fire spells.
What the heck is going on?
Even though his body's like a just clothes, she still attacks with a like his soul is a fire elemental
And I'm
basically.
assuming she's looking for someone to reattach the soul.
She just likes to set things on fire, and she's like a dead in the face, no emotion. That's fucking gross. I like that. Or like, we can just kill things.
Oh, okay.
But she's my favorite so far. There's other characters that are different note, but I still like them. Gameplay is where this fucking game is so fun because it's if you guys don't already know, which I've spoken about this game enough, the people from Skullgirls made this game.
You're sponsored by
Yeah, by
Zero
Lab
Lab
Zero.
or Lab Zero. That's what it is.
The game visually is gorgeous because I like the Skullgirls aesthetic. It fits it. The animations are gorgeous. The gameplay it's an okay. So you're gonna get turned off by this. It's turn based in a sense, combat, but you still do stuff when it's their turn. So you have each character has a certain amount of attacks they can do before their turn ends, which you can upgrade
Like
by
action
finding
points.
collectibles. Yeah, yeah. So you do that, and you can do combos. So each character is assigned to a button. So let's say you're 4 people.
Okay.
Your main character, you can set them to X.
They're all face buttons.
Yeah, just
Square,
the 4
triangle,
face
circle.
buttons on.
Yeah, got it.
You do different attacks depending on which direction and which button you use. So if I do X and up, character 1 is going to do a launcher.
Okay.
X and down. This is just basic. It's like a sweep or whatever. When you run out of action points, you start to. It's like a dynamic RPG. So I think Final Fantasy 13, where it's not technically turn-based, but you have to wait a bit for you to get the action point back.
Yeah. Okay. I know the system now. I guess.
When they attack you, you can block by pressing a button. If you perfectly time it, you parry.
Nullifying all damage.
It makes the damage abysmal. You can upgrade your defense so you take less damage by fighting more collectible stuff.
Okay.
When you perfect hit it, it's basically like third strike, and you also gain meter. Now you can spend a meter on each of the characters, and they do a special. It does different things. The character I was talking about with the tiger, she heals you. There's a character who hits everybody. There's one that is just hits one person but does a shitload of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time you're allowed to do something while you're getting attacked. The pairing stuff feels so fucking good. Like it you would probably like that part because it's like third strike but Skullgirls looking.
Uh huh.
Each character I said before the. What are you gonna say?
Is it like if you were playing I don't play much Dark Souls, but is it to the point where you know the animation, so you know what after fighting the same type of enemy, you'll know when to hit the perfect? Like it becomes muscle memory. They don't like stagger it on their own, like animate, like slow down stuff or the animations to attack to keep you on your toes. But if I fight like enemy A, I know he's gonna do this overarm thing, so at this frame I know to hit it.
They have a string of attacks. They have multiple attacks that they can hit you with.
Oh, okay.
It seems like if you fight a similar enemy, but later on in the game, they either have different timing or they'll have multiple hits you get the time perfectly. So okay. You get there. If it's like a move, like I say, if I just walk up to you and SMG you with like 17 bullets, you have to parry each one. It's not just you parry the first hit. Oh, I got it.
Got it.
And you can miss your thing too. So if you
do it too late,
you parry the first one or you do it too late, yeah, you got shot in the chest.
And then you have to take the next 16 bullets.
Yeah.
And Johan says he knows how to hit the perfect.
No shit.
Nice. Oh, he also said Kelsey's really quiet tonight. Yeah, he is, man. He's thinking about life. He just got married, dude. He's like, I don't know. How am I gonna move on? You know.
Mojo Jojo's rampaging. So, what I said before with the basic like X or the character button up is a launcher and stuff like that. Each character plays entirely different. So you have characters that are like the basic, your main character that does launcher, sweep, whatever. There's characters, for example, like the girl with the tiger. She's like a zoner. Her down and attack's not a sweep. She command grabs you and bites you. And when she does that, your action points regenerate slower for the enemy.
Oh, so it's like it's not like a bleed effect, but it's like a stagger.
It's slower, speed down basically. Mm-hmm. There's other characters. There's a girl named Kushi, not Coochie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She has a bird. She has a bird, and she's a stance character. So if you do attack and up, the bird's really fucking big. By the way, it's like a
humanoid.
Pidgeot.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's bigger than a human.
And she's a little girl. So if you do her button and up, her stance is she's holding on to the bird, and you get different attacks. You can if you do X up again, you do fly from Pokemon literally, and the more action points you have available, the more damage it'll do because it'll take all of it. If you do X and down, she commands the bird. It's a different stance, so you can have them do a bunch of attacks on them. There's characters that they're support characters that still work kind of similar to fighting. So it's a character named Jinseg, and she has like some thing in her head named Honey. And when she's hitting you, because she's like a herbalist, so when she's hitting you with her mixing up the potion, like stir fry from Migos. Okay. The more you do that move and you do attack and up, you heal your team by how much damage you've done.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think. This character's like the guy who with the sword that his X down's a buff, and the next time you do an attack that's not his attack down, depending on how many stacks you build, it's gonna slap the shit out of them. So each character has their own like quirk and the way they work. So it's not like, oh, I got a new guy, just press X. Oh, that's it.
Do they get different moves like in Pokemon where like, oh, you might have unlocked this move and you have to swap out something they already have, or is it just they have a predefined move set and then that's their character? Or can you like customize any other move sets at all? Or
I think it's predetermined. I haven't.
So it's like if they're making it's like if they're making a fighting in characters, like, oh, here's this move set. Learn how to basically make your build.
There's no gear either for your characters. You level them and it just puts up their health and stats, but you're like, oh, this axe will go for my axe character. There's none of that.
Okay, cool. So it's a numbers game for the most part, in terms of difficulty.
Yeah. Okay. And combos and learning how to defend accordingly, how to spend your meter.
What?
I heard
someone suck something.
I heard someone speaking. I don't know if it was from somebody's phone.
That's what I heard.
Was it from my phone?
So outside of combat, I guess I'm just gonna pretend no one's phone went off. Then maybe it was my phone's over there. Yeah, maybe it was my phone. Outside of combat, it's a Metroidvania.
In terms of exploration?
In terms of exploration, which the movement outside of that feels. You know how Guacamelee just feels really fun when you get even more abilities?
Yeah, for traversing and stuff.
And I only have like 2, and it it just feels really responsive. It feels smooth. It feels optimized in gameplay in each aspect. It just feels really good to play.
So how's the moment to moment then? Do you like see the enemies you're about to do a turn-based stuff with, or is it like random encounters?
No random encounters at all.
Okay, so you just see him and you're like, oh, I want
You
to
see
fight
them
him,
on
and then
there.
and is it like if you attack them first, you get like a crit on first move and stuff?
If you attack them, then you basically get to start your turn immediately. Like you go into it immediately.
Gotcha.
You can parry them on the encounter. Like when you're navigating somebody, let's say it comes up trying to punch you, you can parry them then and either do like a strong move or like a command grab. And from there, you immediately start into your character's at full action bar, and you can just go nuts with the combo.
So it gives you like a free attack then if you do that parry.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
But if they just slap you, like if you, is it like I'm trying to remember if they just slap you, if it starts in your disadvantage, or I think it just slaps you and you take damage and then you have to try to hit them again.
Nice.
Zodiac
Kokoro, my husband and his brother.
I'm his husband.
Got it. Okay, I'm like I don't know what's happening right now.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else worth the soundtrack is. I like it. It's not Skullgirls yet. Again, I've only played 5 hours, but I enjoy the soundtrack for what it is. Overall, like it's just really fun.
It sounds like, but you hit the thing that still I'm not gonna like. I know I've seen gameplay of the fighting, and I'm like, I'm not that action point, turn based thing. I wish it was just like fighting like RPG, but then we just start fighting like Smash or something.
I want you to at least try it and then see, like maybe like for like just a couple fights, just because I don't know, it's not like turn based where like, oh, I hate him, let me wait and do nothing. Like you're still playing even when it's not your turn.
What was I
talking
gonna
about? Indivisible Zodiac.
So is there a grind? Have you you only have 5 hours in? If I guess let me know if there's a grind. Like it's to a point where you have to go and explore and then get leveled up, or do they dynamically just scale to whatever you're in?
I didn't have to grind at all. So I cleared an area and I went back and there was no enemies there.
Oh, so they don't respawn them?
At least now where I've been.
Oh.
So
it's like a linear, pretty RPG. That's pretty linear RPG then.
The voice acting is also pretty good.
Everybody's voice?
There's familiar voice. Yeah, everyone's. No, there's NPCs that you have to read.
Oh, okay, like shopkeeps and stuff.
Yeah, but your party, anyone you have has a voice.
Is it fully voiced throughout the whole game, or is there like moments where they're just like a side mission or something, and they're like, is there missions? Is there quests, or is it just explore the world?
There's side stuff, like you talk to people and like in order to recruit the lady that has a potion, even though I think she's the main character you'd get anywhere. You have to do stuff, and then she's like, "Oh, I'll join you."
Oh, okay.
And there's some characters that you have to go out of your way, like maybe platform, and you find the room to pick up. And they're just side characters, so you'll hear them talking while you're fighting, but they won't actually get like cutscenes.
And there's no co-op like while you're fighting, right? Like two people take control of.
So before the game came out, I don't know if it is out yet, but Mike Z said that he's working on maybe down the line after release, he's gonna make it so everyone can control their own character.
One of the characters, yeah. Cause the way you're saying it is set up, that'd be a fun way to have a co-op experience. Every time you guys start an encounter, somebody takes control of one of them, of somebody in your party.
Yeah, but I the only complaint I have is so minuscule. When you jump. So let's say let's say you're sprinting or whatever, and you jump. When you land, you lose like all speed. So like you'll go back to like that.
To walking instead of like I know what you mean.
Unless like if it's a jump where you would lose your sprint. Like sometimes if you're just going and you're jumping, you'll keep it. But let's say if I'm just walking and I jump on a platform, my normal run animation, like the non-sprint, I lose the speed from that. So it like winds up a little bit. So that part feels a little weird, but so far that's the only complaint gameplay wise.
All right. Well, you're 5 hours in, so I'm gonna wait. We're gonna have to check back on you because right now you're in the honeymoon phase of the game. We'll check back on you when you're near the end and see how treacherous it gets. Because you might encounter some like enemy that's stupid broken. That'll probably get you like infuriated. That sounds cool.
The boss fights, I fought a couple bosses. The boss fights feel like, you know how in Ori, you're fighting the boss. I don't remember if it's only after, where then there's platforming, then you fight him again, or is it just you beat him and then there's platforming?
Depends which boss. Some bosses have platforming to leave because he's chasing you, and then like something happens in the environment at that moment, so you have to escape. Like the lava rising one when you're fighting him, and you have to like platform your way out of there.
So while you're fighting bosses, you're not just locked there in the combat. Sometimes they'll like shove you or just like escape, and you have to chase them while they're shooting shit at you. So it's like Mega Man kind of platforming.
Okay.
There's like a spider boss that they'll go up to the sky and start throwing babies at you to either swing at, like while you in like traverse mode basically,
Okay.
or it'll start spitting venom and you have to dodge it. It like Mega Man in a sense because you're in a locked space, not locked, but like a set room, and you just gotta avoid shit.
Ah, okay.
And I don't know. I think this game was made for me because it just put a bunch of shit that I like and put it all together.
Okay.
So I'm enjoying it.
I'm telling you, you're in that honeymoon thing. Maybe it'll last throughout the entire game, and you're like, "This is the best thing I've ever played in my life."
I wouldn't be surprised. I just have to figure out why my mic isn't getting picked up on OBS because I'm trying to stream, trying to play that some more, but it's just it'll show it as a mic input, but it doesn't get any signal whatsoever. So I don't know.
And you're running latest OBS, right?
I believe so.
24.03.
I don't have it open right now, so I don't know.
Anyway, that's this recording. All right, cool. So I sound like you definitely recommend it to people. If you're into RPGs, would you recommend it because of your like? What part of it would you recommend? I guess to someone who just doesn't know anything about Indivisible. Because of the RPG elements, because of the combat, because of the Metroidvania exploration.
I can
or all of the above.
I can recommend off anything really. If art style or like visuals is something that appeals to you, that draws your interest, this game's gorgeous.
Okay.
If you like Metroidvanias, that's how you traverse in this game. If you like RPGs, this game's so far a well done RPG where every character feels different, so you get to mold your team by how do you like to play. If you like Valkyrie Profile, because that's what the fighting is influenced by the whole
action
turns
points
thing, and each character is a separate button. This is like an homage to that game. If you like games with a good soundtrack, that's what this is. That's what this has. I'm trying to think of anything.
It sounds like a resounding yes from me. Like so. All right, cool. Invisible. We got a positive this time around.
And it's not even a $60 game. It's a $40 game too. So
there you go. Charging less than those AAA developers, dude.
And speaking of Lab Zero, Skullgirls is coming to Switch soon. So go ahead and pick that up.
Okay, Brian. I mean, yes, to support the studio, but
while I'm playing Indivisible, every time I see a character I play as, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool character. Should add him to Skullgirls too. It's my mindset every time.
What you need to do now is just as you're playing it, screenshot every time you see a new character and then tweet at what is his name, Mike?
Yeah, Mike Z.
And just be like, oh, this character looks pretty cool. You should add him to Skullgirls too. And then just for every character you meet, he's gonna be like, yo, can I block this kid?
He probably would block me.
I think that's the one positive thing we reviewed this entire episode.
You talked about Stadia.
Yeah, but that's just me fangirling. But I'm talking about like actually things we consumed, and the wedding, I guess. So never mind. And that's about it, people. We didn't have any viewer questions this week, so we're gonna have to skip that. And then releases for this week. I didn't see any games on there that's gonna come out this week that I'm like, let's do it. I mean, there's Little Town Hero, which is the next game from the people who made Pokemon. It's like another RPG that's coming out. Big Mad Maniac in the chat. Hello. Thank you for joining. We're kind of wrapping up here, but appreciate it. Just hit follow and you can watch us next week. I mean, we stream
it's pretty smooth, dude.
Throughout the week. I'm telling you, I'm getting better at this.
No shit.
Just
like my execution would be getting better if you give me a hitbox.
Okay.
The shit I accidentally keep on.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I have the tweet copy and pasted.
Movies coming out this week is Maleficent and the sequel, Mistress of Evil, and Zombieland the sequel, Double Tap. We will be watching Zombieland this weekend, so we'll have that review or impressions next week. Big Mad Maniac in the chat asks, what do you guys talk about? Mostly entertainment. Games we've done. Basically anything. This is the Seinfeld podcast, pretty much. Not really. But anything. What we do, it's like a weekly, hey, what did we do over the week? Did we watch anything, play any games, read any comics, watch any show or whatever? Oh, Mr. Robot started airing 2 weeks ago. First 2 episodes are already really good, so be sure to catch it. It's the final season. And it's freaking awesome. It was a good balance because I came from Joker bummed out, and then the next day we saw episode. Was it the next day? Yeah, it was next day, yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw episode 2, and I'm like, yes, this is what I came to see. And then for music as well, I think I saw somebody's releasing something this week. Who is it?
I'm so behind. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, same here. I haven't been listening to new music, and actually I have. It's just I haven't been really talking about it because I haven't I'm like whatever. Like I heard already Lana's album like multiple times. I have yet to talk about it on here. Maybe one day. Gucci Mane is dropping Woptober too, so it's time to get lit, dude. Let's
I
go.
feel like that's probably what I'm going to listen to. I started to listen to Young M.A.'s album, which I was looking forward to.
I'm gonna listen to Woptober this on Friday and just see what bangers come out of that.
With Gucci, I like his singles more than his albums. I don't know.
What are you talking about? Curve was in his album, dude. With the Curve.
That was a single.
Okay, but that's part of his album though.
Okay, but I just say like his singles more than the album.
And that's about it. What do you guys want to plug for the week? What are you doing, Brian?
I don't know if I'm streaming or not, because I'm trying to figure out how to get my fucking mic to be on OBS.
Okay, so if you get so to do this, you do the multiple choice. Let's say your mic does work. What are you gonna do? What kind of face was that?
Fuck, dude. Just see if I stream tomorrow.
Indivisible? Okay, so you're playing Indivisible exclusively until you get tired of it.
No, one of these days I'll probably play like another fighting game with a friend of mine.
Gotcha.
Either Dragon Ball Fighters or
Smash
Under Night and
Brothers.
Birth.
Oh.
Or Smash or Blaze Blue Cross Tag, one of those 4.
It's a lot of anime fighting games there.
Well, I mean, there's no Marvel, so I need to pretend I'm playing Marvel with other games.
Just load up Marvel MVC 2.
I think I main cable. That's the part
Randal,
that hurts me the most.
Randal, what are you doing this week?
I have no idea.
No idea. Excellent answer.
I think he thinks I main cable.
Yeah. I found that, speaking of fighting and stuff, I think I might have found a way so we can play Scott Pilgrim again, because the PlayStation 3 emulator has made quite a lot of progress. So I might be able to emulate Scott Pilgrim. We could probably play that during Extra Life because that game is freaking great. Randall did play that with us, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah, he did. We can replay it again if I get it working. But myself, I'll probably be streaming tomorrow and Thursday. What am I streaming tomorrow? Fam, I have no idea. The hooks that's
stealing my spiel, dude.
The hook that's the shooter looters are like sinking deep into me right now. Destiny 2, Division 2, and Borderlands 3 are like what I'm playing now.
You know what's funny?
What's up?
I beat Borderlands 3. I played a little bit with a new character that same day. I haven't played the game since.
Yeah. I played a little bit with Zane, and then I started playing Destiny 2, because now with the whole new light stuff, I was streamed it, so people watched it. And then I played Division 2 yesterday, and I'm like, oh my god, this game is the best, dude. And then now I'm hooked on Division now. I don't know. Probably maybe the Division 2 tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see, people. I just don't know anymore. I just get home, sit on this computer, I'm like, what do I feel like shooting at? And I'm like, I guess I'm shooting at people in Washington, D.C., you know? Anyway, I'm in the game. I don't want people knocking on my door. Yeah, people in the Division 2, I'm shooting people. And Cobra, yeah, there's a new update that came out today, so I'll probably want to try those things out tomorrow. So I'll probably be playing Division 2 tomorrow. And Thursday, maybe some Control. I miss playing Control.
I still need to play that a second time.
I freaking love Control. For year 1 pass owners. Oh, but there's also like other fixes systematically that they changed, like the new UI and things like that. And there's like balance fixes that I want to try out. Like the snipers all got buffed. And all this other stuff. And that's about it, people. This is it. Episode 66 wrapped up. If you want to support the show with cash dollars, you can go to patreon.com/ADLRplays. If you want to donate to Extra Life, you can go to extralife.adlrplays.com, where the proceeds go to the Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. Speaking of Extra Life, I'm going to say it again. November 2nd is our game day. We're starting November 2nd at 10 a.m. and going till November 3rd, 10 a.m. It's a 24-hour stream for Extra Life. It's for the kids. Donate while we're playing for 24 hours straight. We have a bunch of games lined up. If you want something, see us play a specific game, you can go to topics@adlrplays.com with topics for us to talk about on the show, or maybe just suggestions for games to play, and I'll add it to our spreadsheet of games to play. I gotta start setting that up too, man. It's only like 2 weeks from now. Figuring out how everything's gonna work. And for Brian, I guess he wants a hitbox. He has a link for his donation drive, so he can get a hitbox, so you can use it 3 times and never use it again.
That's definitely not happening. I'm not Randal. I play fighting games still.
Brian said fight. He had to switch it. He was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I play fighting games, dude."
What was I gonna say? We're past halfway mark. We're at 118 out of 220. So that final step, we just push on.
You're talking about the hitbox. I'm like,
yeah.
What are you? You said we're halfway.
What are you talking about? This is me time right now. We're
yeah. You said we're past halfway, and I'm like, and you said 118. I'm like, fam, this is episode 66. Where'd you getting 118?
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask
220, dude.
Yeah, the first thing was what do you mean 118? And what do you mean we're halfway? Do you know something?
Yeah.
We just get hit by a car at 200.
And that's so Raven.
Got it.
Throw money at me is what I'm telling you. We're past halfway.
So thank you guys for watching/listening/watching and listening. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.